Hi guys, welcome to Take 2 Beer Reviews. And yeah, as you can see, beer's already in the glass. Looking at Baltika 2 this time from the Baltika Brewery, which is a 4.7% lager, clocking in at 4.7%. You can see why this isn't the first take. Coming in at a 450ml bottle. What I like about the Baltika stuff is there's actually a born on date and a best before date, so the craft guys out there can take note. But yeah, very classic looking beer. Most of you guys know that the Baltika artwork is very uniform throughout the different beers that they do. It's number 2, of course, very green, even the bottle, and there is the crown. So haven't drank any of this yet, but I gave it a little bit of a sniff. And before we get into that, appearance is it's golden, straw-like in appearance, crystal clear, nice amounts of carbonation, not too light in appearance, and the beer poured with, what's the point of me generating head? I've never understood why I actually do that. About half a finger's worth head, more like a lining on the top more than anything else. But yeah, beer in the glass, in the aroma, I don't know what's going on. It smells like a Green King beer. It's such an obtuse thing to say, but I'm reminded of like a Green King IPA in terms of the aroma. It's very citrusy, lemony, limey. It's not really zingy, but it's like, I don't know, there's like this slight resinous character in there as well. And like skunky, to be honest. You know, it's got that sort of like, it smells like a student's apartment. But I quite like that. I like that resinousy, skunky, like hoppiness. Slight biscuity, crackery malts coming through, a little bit grainy, slight earthy tones. But it's a very light beer, but that citrusy, weed-like character is actually really quite nice, I'm not going to lie. So it's been another sweltering day here in Germany, so a nice cold lager should do the trick. Hopefully, if it tastes nice. Let's give it a taste. Cheers. It's one of those beers that starts off really promising. It's really nice, crisp, nicely carbonated. It's thirst quenching at first. It's just the flavours that develop towards the back end. That sort of like duller shine on the beer. On the intake, you get these lovely, excuse me, citrusy characters coming through. But then they die down considerably. And then you get that sort of like, I always compare it to what I remember Skull to taste like, but it's a flavour that I don't hate. If that makes sense. Let's pour the rest in. Yeah, there are parts of this beer already that I know some people, when they drink it, yeah, they're like instantly like spitting it out into the sink and pouring the beer away. But for me, I don't mind those flavours. At the same time, it's so hard to put your finger on it, and to describe it and to put it into words is really quite tough. But I'm reminded of like the Green King IPA and like a can of Skull lager, which when I'm back in the UK, gonna have to source some Skull, because that was like a beer from my, you know, early teens. It's got this ever so slight metally medicinal flavour that develops on the back end. Sort of like that character you get from like the hops, like they're not as. It's so hard. It's like it's as if the hops have been put into the beer way too early, and in the process, all that goodness and the flavour gets lost, and it's just like when you overboil like a vegetable broth and then pour the liquid away. You're getting rid of all that flavour. That's the sort of like weird impression you get. But the flavour's being sort of taken away by magic, by those hops being in the boil for too long. Do you see where I'm coming from with that? And the home brewers out there and the brewers in general are like, why is he reviewing beer? He knows not what he is talking about. Which is very true. The beer itself, it's a very crushable, thirst-quenching beer. Those citrusy tones are what I like the most about it. It's just the aftertaste and the flavours that develop. I think I think this has been affected because it's been in a green bottle, and I mean it was brewed on the 28th of the 3rd, 2017. So it's not the oldest beer. So flavours won't have faded that much. There's really nothing in there to fade too much, which I mean in the nicest possible sense. This is a beer that you don't really think about too much. It's a drinker, not a thinker. And it's one of those ones where, you know what, if you had a few bottles of this, chilled them down nicely, got yourself a steady little session there, especially in this horrid German summer. And I'm getting that sort of like spliff flavour in there. Like when you've had a spliff and the person's not put enough tobacco in there. So you get that full like resiny, skunky, like cheese flavour. Yeah. This review's terrible, but oh well. Beer itself, not too bad. So in terms of a rating then, on Baltika 2, gonna give it a 7 out of 10. And what this beer has that people will not grasp is there's like this weird sense of nostalgia with this beer. I don't know, the thing that's nostalgic about this beer would turn a lot of people off, and it's what people don't like about this style of beer. Yeah, it's an odd one. Some people might think 7 out of 10, even by the way I'm describing it, is a bit too generous. But is it one I'd have again? Maybe. I'd happily do like a live examination of this beer with a few people. It's much more drinkable than the Baltika 9, that's for sure. Which, don't misconstrue as me saying that was a bad beer. It was fairly good quality beer. It was just a little bit too harsh on the alcohol for me. This is a completely different kettle of fish. It's a relatively easy drinking light lager from Russia. And yeah, I'd try it again. But of course, I'd want to make my way through the other Baltika beers that are available to me. So anyway, if you have drank this beer, as always, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. What are your favourite Baltika beers? What are your favourite Russian beers? Could be macro, could be craft. I'm always interested to hear of the craft scene in some of the places like this. And yeah, check out my Russian beer playlist down below. It's a very small one as of me recording this video, but I'm sure it will grow over the next few weeks alone. In my time, in my world, not in the world of uploading videos to YouTube, because you probably get this like in October or something, I don't know. Anyway, I've made this video way longer than it should be. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and hope whatever you've been drinking, it's been nice. And until the next time, you guys stay safe. Cheers.